Guys, don't you hate it when you're minding your own business on your fishing boat and then all of a sudden
The Pentagon releasing this video of a deadly military airstrike.
Hey, you. You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right?
and then you get reincarnated in Skyrim even though you are definitely not trying to cross the border? Yeah, this happens sometimes, especially if you're a channel member, as the US Navy prioritizes them over any other target. That's why today we're playing the Elden Kings mod, allowing us to experience the magic of the Elder Scrolls experience without needing to buy a boat. Also, look at these borders. Where exactly am I supposed to start? Alright, that's it. We're going to the Heartlands, so we can experience the Oblivion beginning. Of course, we have to create our own adventurer, a perfect amalgamation of all people who watch this channel. Everyone, I introduce Barry of the noble house Porter. Just like most of you, he's a lustful man, born under the sign of the Atronach. Now, if YouTube analytics are to be trusted, he's also a necromancer and has no diplomatic skills, martial skills, stewardship, or any combat prowess. Naturally, I have to make him a cute, just like you. And thus our adventure begins. Obviously, I have to dismiss the two followers you automatically start the game with, as I firmly believe in the power of necromancy. Think about it, guys, all the undead servants can take all the manual labor jobs, giving you more free time to explore the arts, allowing you to finally play banger music or improve your painting skills. Practically the opposite of AI, which will never take away your slave job, but by God can it paint. Of course, we have to devote ourselves to the dark arts. There are other magics, and you do need level 1 conjuration so you can take the become necromancer decision. But just like you guys, I dream of the day where I can take the become lich decision. You know what? Let's reset the perks. Instead of having conjuration, we shall get restoration, as no one ever does that. And now we have access to restoration and necromancer spells. I guess we can start by raising Skeleton Knight, which gives us an undead servant, and it only costs 20 mana. Additionally, we have access to rituals, which are passive spells that are always active. Alright then, we begin in the Heartlands, which are currently ruled by Lady Protectoress Hesta, a 16-year-old girl who thinks I smell. Probably because I'm a necromancer. As you guys already know, it's a pretty stinky job. But what do I care? She's some spoiled rich girl who never had to do a day of honest work in her life. Whenever she wants something, she just gets it without even trying. Unlike me, a dirty stinky peasant. And if it really boils down to it, it could never work between us. You know what though? The spoiled princess and the dirty peasant, it's one of those fantasies that kinda does it for me. Alright, that's it, I've decided. I have to try and win her heart, even though there's 5% chance. Remember guys, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. We're also building a barber stand, as the severe lack of entrepreneurship is causing me stress. Now we can remedy that by switching our religion, which seems kinda drastic. Alternatively, I can start visiting prostitutes. Unfortunately, I don't have the balls to pay for something like that, which leaves me no choice. I shall borrow my emotions, like a real man. Alright guys, here's the most important business advice you'll ever get. Go to your local holy order, borrow a bunch of gold, and never pay them back. Alright then, now it's time for us to visit the town with my trusty undead servant, so I can look for employees to staff my barber shop. And of course, I shall pick the free option. There's always at least one. God bless the medieval job market. Speaking of gods, we have to choose a patron. I'm going to go with Julianus, as he shall help me with my magics. We're also going to start upgrading our barber business. Soon, we shall be able to buy the tools, so we can become a dentist as well. Oh no, my beloved Hesta is in danger. Now that I have some facial hair, I shall climb in her window and save her at once. And of course, she said something like, "What are you doing here? Don't come any closer! Leave at once or I'll hurt you!" I didn't even like her or anything, but that's her response? What a bitch! Am I right, guys? And it seems that Rhea Foulfart wants to join as my employee in the Stinky Barber. Something tells me she'll fit just fine. In fact, she's perfect cover, as I'm going to summon multitude of undead servants. And with our main employee having such foul reputation, this will explain all of the bad smells. Now I know what you guys are thinking. A stinky peasant jumping through the window of a noble lady is just asking for a negative response. But this is where you're wrong. Women don't actually care if you smell nice. It's all perfume propaganda. Ignore it. Now it does seem that all the undead are perfect killing machines, which means I have no choice. We must become swords for hire, as that will complement our barber business. This of course allows us to join factions in unstable countries. We can even press the demands, starting a civil war. Now I might only have 8 soldiers, but this will allow us to plunder plenty of riches once we link with the rebel forces. Oh crap, they're far more powerful than us. Damn it. And just like that, I have 3 nights left. But that's alright guys, even the CIA fails to profit from such endeavors sometimes. Which means it can happen to the best of us. We just have to summon some more undead and try again, once I have more mana. Also, I'm ready to become an expert at necromancy. In the meantime, I shall take a translation job, as my knowledge of multitude languages can really pay well. Oh crap, they realized I don't speak any other languages. I mean I still get paid, but I only managed to complete 3 out of 7. This is so embarrassing. It really stressed me out. Which means I have 2 options. Either I grow some balls and pay to touch a woman, or I pick up drinking. As a Balkan man, this isn't really a choice. Now in order to help my stress relief, I'm going to have one of my undead servants, Diana, as the camp stooge. I mean she does an excellent job, and it is a hilarious way to lower your stress. And now she'll move camp to Magia, which is ruled by Prefect Doria, a 35-year-old married woman with children. You know what guys? An older woman cheating on her husband as he's taking care of the kids is one of those fantasies that's kinda doing it for me. I simply have to win her heart. Also, we can finally buy the tools, so I can live out my wildest fantasy as a dentist. Remember guys, the Stinky Barber is a great place to maintain your dental health. And we found an artifact, a wild boar skull. Unfortunately, I don't have a court, but luckily for me, I know someone who does. Oh, Prefect Doria, I saw this wild boar skull and thought of you. Please accept this gift. Oh boy, this doubled my chances. See that guys? Women love spontaneous boar body parts as gifts. You guys know what that means. It's time for me to jump through the window and save the day. Damn it, but everything was going so well. What did I do wrong? And it seems that a goblin named Derkark and his goblin wife are willing to start working in the Stinky Barber. You know what? I have a dentist chair with your name on it. And I also made a friend. Hell yeah! Honestly, I completely forgot about my failing love life, as women are no match for the power of friendship. Women! Am I right guys? And I've also learned Bone Mantle, which is a brand new necromancer ritual, increasing my natural dread. Well, this kinda sucks. Not as much as Duchess Lariena, a 47-year-old drunk, married to a loser without any children. See that guys? There's always someone that's doing way worse than you. You know what though? A complete failure I can kinda relate to is one of those fantasies that's kinda doing it for me. I simply have to win her heart. And we've arrived. Alright, Duchess Failure. My standards have been thoroughly lowered. Let's get into it. And I managed to summon a giant. Now that's the type of undead knight that can really complement our dentistry. I mean Diana, the camp stooge, is still our best fighter. But we're still making progress. Now then, it is time for me to jump through the window. Damn it, this drunk loser clearly doesn't understand romance. Women! Am I right guys? And it seems that we're quite close to the Elflands. And you guys know the elves in Elder Scrolls. They're super old and have these squishy faces. I mean look at this one, Arana Karando Morillier. And her husband is incapable because he has a brain hemorrhage, rendering him completely paralyzed. You know what though? Doing it with a pretty elf lady, while her husband lays on the other side of the bed completely immobilized. That's kinda doing it for me. I simply have to win her heart. And we've been ambushed by a horde of undead. Now we can't fight them. However, because I'm a necromancer, I can simply take them for myself. Remember guys, 9 out of 10 dentists approve adopting rogue undead. Sick bastards, they're going to approve just about anything for the right price. But now we have 100 undead soldiers, which are pretty good. Granted, they don't have any breakthrough, but they can still fight far better than peasants. And we managed to arrive. It is time for us to activate the jump through the window scheme. Honestly, I can't wait for it to work. At least once. Oh come on, it feels like this Windows strategy is some sick and twisted advertisement for Microsoft, desperate for me to give them money in order to remove the watermark at the lower right side of my screen. Oh, I'm sorry guys, recently I have been watching pickup artist propaganda. I'm sure that's a bunch of nonsense. And it seems that we are neighboring the Great Swamps, filled with lizard men and women. I'm just gonna say it, guys, they're pretty gross. Although now that I think about it, tussling in the mud with this gross lizard lady, it's kinda doing it for me. I simply have to win her heart. Oh crap, my goblin dentist friend got stuck in the marshes, and there's nothing I can do about it. He's going to die regardless of what I do. Such cruel fate. Who's gonna be our dentist now? It's alright, you guys, I'm going to cast Claim Corpse. This is a hostile spell. However, once he dies, he shall be resurrected as an undead knight. Which is great news, because he'll be with me forever. I mean, he still has to drown in the mud. But this means that Dr. Derkhark can now work 24-hour shifts. 9 out of 10 dentists approve such exploitative practices. Sick bastards. And I just unlocked medium necromancy rituals, which unlocks Unhallowed Earth. When it's active, any knight who dies will be resummoned as an undead thrall, which means I physically can't lose my undead knights during combat. That's pretty strong. Alright, stinky lizard lady, let's get romantic in the mud, which is too deep for most goblins. And what's this? Now that I have more than 100 troops, people are actually willing to pay me for my mercenary services. Of course I'll take the money. And I'll send support as soon as we cross the swamp. Just give me a minute. Now I know what you guys are thinking. This is practically fraud. However, you're forgetting that I'm about to jump through the lizard lady's window and finally get some. Damn it! Rejected by such a nasty beast. The humiliation is unbearable. We have to leave as far as possible. Wait a minute, look at Queen Aini. She's married to a woman, which means she didn't marry for the future of her house, an alliance, or any political reasons. She merely married her for her stats. You know what though? A gamer girl that cares not for cosmetics, but only the flat stats, is kinda doing it for me. I simply have to win her heart. And I guess we can go by boat. Crap, we got attacked by pirates. Hang on a minute, there's physically no chance for them to rob us. Women pirates, am I right guys? And we managed to arrive, let's get into it. Oh my god, we actually have a chance. Well, there you go guys, if you really want to succeed on the dating field, you have to find a woman that's willing to sleep with just about anyone. And it seems that our mercenary services are requested once again. Of course I accept, as the previous war went pretty well for my bank account. And we also got major necromancy rituals, giving us Unholy Frenzy, increasing our night effectiveness by 25%. Now that's what I'm talking about. Alright guys, here I go jumping through the window of losing virginity. Damn it, I'm such a failure. Even Diana, the camp stooge, is doing so much better than me. Granted, she is a decomposing corpse controlled by my dark magical powers, but she's at least good at her job, and still the best fighter I got. You know what though? This whole master-servant dynamic we have going on is kinda doing it for me. I simply have to win her heart. In the meantime, we shall cross the sea, as I can't stay here anymore. It's too embarrassing. Now then, during this hunt, I shall perform the jump through an imaginary window maneuver and save the day. Well, there you go guys, the window was the problem this whole time, as I suspected. Now then, I have to lay with Diana. You guys should give me a minute, maybe watch an ad or something. Whew! Well, that was incredible. Now Diana might not look it, but she still has some bits down there. I think. I'm not actually sure. Anyway, it is time for us to change the goof. As I already achieved my wildest fantasy as a pervert, honestly, I should have given myself more personality traits. Even if majority of you don't have them, I doubt anyone would notice. No, that would be dishonorable. I would never. Well, I guess I have to make some money, build an army, and conquer the Heartlands. I guess we can get some battle mages, as that will certainly complement my horde of undead. Off to battle we go. I should also activate some of our rituals, as I really wish to be a valuable mercenary group. And finally, I am a master necromancer, unlocking the decision to become a lich. I just need some more piety. Additionally, we can also raise an undead horde, the same as the one I bumped into during my travels, but I can also get undead archers or bone colossus. They do cost quite a lot of mana, but as a lich I shall physically have all the time in the world. And I can also focus on my other magical studies, continuing down our restoration tree. And I also have a brand new restoration ritual, Exuberance, which gives me a medium health boost and 10% more pervert powers. I am 33 years old, which isn't bad for a medieval peasant, but I need quite a lot of piety. and I would hate to die from spontaneous diarrhea before I achieve my lifelong goal. And the war is over, which means I can go on a pilgrim. Luckily for us, the nearest holy site is quite far, which will allow us to generate plenty of piety. And I guess we can also stop to look at all the sites along the way, increasing our travel time, which will generate even more piety. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Why exactly do I need so many good guy points in order to pervert the very notion of nature created by the gods? Well, that's simple. Every lich is a pervert. So if you too want to defy death, now you know what to do. And just like that, we managed to get enough piety. Let us return back to camp without losing too many limbs. And we're finally back. As a religious man, I simply have to organize a camp tax. It's the religious people thing to do. Now then, it is time for me to click the button and spend all of my good guy points so I can become an evil lich. And we managed to succeed. Hell yeah. You know what, guys? For once it actually feels good to be Captain Barry, the Wolf Slayer. You know, things weren't going so well at the beginning, but just look at me now, forcing my romantic desires onto my subordinates, scamming people of their money as I promised to help them in their wars, and spending all the virtual good guy points so I can become an undead monstrosity clearly gives better results than being an honest barber. So the moral of the story is, anyone can make it, so long as they're a complete asshole. I guess we can build a roaring campfire, as that will help us in our mercenary endeavors. Oh god, I'm 41, and I look the same way I smell. Classic 40s, am I right, guys? I guess we can move camp, so we can be closer to the Heartlands, allowing us to strike when the time is right. And now we're residing in the lands of Queen Luika, an 18-year-old adulteress. What a pervert. You know what though? This age difference doesn't really bother me. Also, I'm kinda losing bits of my face, so this is probably my last chance. I simply have to win her heart. And it seems that Lord Protectress Hesta not only lost an eye, but is also known as the Spineless. Women that reject you, am I right, guys? Another scam, ka-ching, and we once again increase our level of restoration, giving us access to such crazy spells like Cure Disease and Turn Undead. Okay, I'm starting to question the whole Necromancer that can heal people bit. Now then, it is time for me to jump through the window. Alright, you guys know what happened.
I know I'm not exactly handsome, but vomiting at the sight of me is a bit rude.
Luckily for me, I don't feel a thing anymore. God bless being a lich. And it is also time for us to summon some colossus. Unfortunately, I can only afford 30. Holy smokes, they have 10 times more attack and defense. Definitely worth it. Obviously, we have to test them in battle. Oh boy, get boned, stupid peasants. And just look at this, the Bone Colossus did as well as all of my knights combined. We also didn't have a single casualty. Undead Jesus. And after this glorious victory, the enemy gave up, filling up our coffers so we can recruit even more soldiers. And it seems that Nibenai is losing a war. Obviously, I have to offer my services to the winning side, allowing me to pillage their village with my undead horde, which is not big enough. Oh, they gave up. Yet another victory for the Stinky Barber, the best dentist in town. And it seems we can join yet another war against Nibenai. I'll take it. 9 out of 10 dentists recommend kicking them while they're down. And with our allied troops, we can actually pillage. Now that's what I live for. See that, guys? Size doesn't matter. The important thing is... What? Where did my soldiers go? Ridiculous. Also, I washed my face this morning, and my face fell off. Ugh. 49-year-olds, am I right, guys? And I finally managed to master restoration. Unfortunately, I don't think I can cast any of those spells onto undead. Also, my mana is already spoken for, as I need to replenish my forces, and the contracts are getting quite big when you have 700 troops. And Protectress Hesta died, damn it, I was dying to get my revenge. Although, heart failure is a justifiable punishment for someone who tore my heart so savagely. Which means my biggest enemy is her daughter, Lady Protectress Caecilia. Undead Jesus! We're certainly stacking the cash now. And now I shall offer military assistance to my enemies, so I can drain their coffers. And of course, now we have enough troops so we can siege. Oh crap! they have quite the army. Luckily for us, our allies arrived, which means we have yet another victory for the Stinky Barber, the most powerful mercenary group, with premium dental care. I mean, just look at those pearly whites, don't forget to floss. Wait a minute, Lady Cecilia likes me because I helped her in her war, and her husband just died. You know what though? Doing it with your mortal enemy after her husband's funeral is one of those fantasies that's kinda doing it for me. I simply have to win her heart. Now then, it is time for me to jump through the window and save the day. Finally, it actually worked. Lady Cecilia and I share a kiss. My god, I would give anything to have a penis right now. Yeah, I didn't say anything because no one ever asks, but it did fell off. Around the same time, my nose did. Honestly, we should really normalize questions like, hey, do you still have your penis attached? As it really shows your friends that you care and your friendship is important to you. And Queen Apronia wants me to join her war. Originally I declined. However, if we can make an alliance, it will double our military strength. Holy smokes, I don't think that will be enough. I guess all we have to do now is pray that all my magics apply to my allies as well. Alright then, I guess we can start praying that we don't lose that many troops. Oh come on! They took my girlfriend hostage. Bastards! I guess I have no choice, we have to sneak from behind, occupy their capital, and save the love of my own life. They gave up. Damn it, at least now I have money to pay the ransom. And it seems that Protectress, oh, you don't have a penis, is currently in trouble. We must press the attack. And with our allies, nothing can stop us, because their armies aren't here. Well, they don't seem that strong. And after some chasing around, it seems that, damn it, and after some chasing around, it seems that we shall have a decisive battle. Luckily for us, our allies brought many peasants to be used as meat shields. Honestly, I always thought that a massive undead horde will fulfill that role. Unfortunately, the humble peasant leaves nothing to be desired when it comes to body blocking the enemy's horses, arrows, and swords. God bless the peasants. And I'm getting a peace deal. Honestly, I think that's most of the things I want, but I won't accept, as I know their armies are stuck. And once they try to cross the bridge, we shall completely destroy you motherfucker. Honestly, I thought I had them there. I guess we're going to leverage our superior occupation skills. I was honestly hoping for a final battle, but we are victorious. And now I control the Imperial Isle. I have a mansion and everything. I am certain my undead knights will manage them just fine. And every territory shall be administered with brainless decaying servants who can't possibly do their job correctly. As I would hate for the locals to notice a difference in governance. But most importantly, I can finally dress Diana in something a bit more revealing. During this whole war campaign, she was wearing nothing but full-plated armor. And you know what guys, I might not have a penis anymore, but this is most certainly doing it for me. Until next time.